Very active weather unfolding across West Michigan starting tonight and then through tomorrow. Two different varieties, winter and severe, and clouds have really built in ahead of our earlier sunshine. Felt really nice out there, but temperatures only topped out in the 40s, and now we're even down into the 30s for some spots. Big Rapids 37 right now, Greenville 39. The rest of us still in the 40s, but we'll be dropping into the 30s, and that will become important as some moisture starts to come up from the south as well. Temperatures will be pretty close to freezing, but slightly above for most of us, which means as this moisture comes in, it's mostly going to be in the form of a wintry mix, rain and slushy snow, and not starting to accumulate for most of us. However, some of us are going to be at or below freezing, and the potential for some accumulation of snow between 2 a.m. and noon is there. That's mostly going to be for Oceana, Newaygo, Mecosta, and Montcalm counties. There could also be a glaze of freezing rain that starts to come onto some surfaces there as well. So especially for the early morning commute, that could be a little bit problematic for these areas. Those are really the only spots that are going to be at or below freezing. The rest of us, while still chilly, will bottom out anywhere from 33 to 37, and that will not foster the ability for a lot of the winter weather to accumulate. That part good, but then we shift into this low pressure system, warm front and cold front, and that's what's going to give us the chance for some strong to severe storms. So a lot's going on here in the next 30 hours or so. Once we get out of the wintry mix, then we transition to rain and thunderstorms, and that window is from around noon to midnight. The severe weather window probably more like 4 p.m. onwards, but it does appear that all severe weather hazards are on the table. Damaging winds will be our primary threat. We'll also be dealing with the potential of a few brief spin-up tornadoes, and while hail is not a huge concern, especially for the early morning storms, there could be some small hail in there. Along and south of 96 still looks to be our primary window of the area that could see the better chances for severe storms, but it really seems like 94 and south is probably going to be that best environment. Going into tonight, you can see a little bit of light snow starts to form right around midnight, really starts to expand around 3 or 4 a.m. and we'll continue to see this possible in our areas with a winter weather advisory through about 7. Most of us dealing with heavy rain and some rumbles of thunder, freezing rain mixed into the north as well through the mid-morning. This is not going to be our severe weather threat, but those storms will contain very heavy rain, lightning, and maybe some small pea-sized hail. Going into the afternoon, there will be some showers, but we may even see a little lull in activity, which will then allow for more severe storm potential as we get into the later evening. Nasty line of storms along and ahead of a cold front will start right around 7 or 8 p.m., continue to push eastward by 9 or 10 p.m., and then we may see some of these storms come up out of Indiana and then move through places like Kalamazoo, Coldwater, Three Rivers, Battle Creek, those areas by about midnight. So midnight is when most of this should be done, and then the cold front presses all of this off to the east and we no longer have to deal with it. We'll also be potentially seeing upwards of 1 to 2 inches of rain, which is much needed for our drought, but could also cause some flooding. So a lot of different types of weather going on in the next 24 to 30 hours. Thankfully, pretty quiet after this.